open your ears and listen with rapt attention. Our heroine for today is Ruth First. Ruth is spelled R-U-T-H and First is F-I-R-S-T. In fact, our heroine for today was born Heloise Ruth First, and Heloise is spelled H-E-L-O-I-S-E. Heloise. She was born on the 4th day of May in 1925. And she died a very violent death on the 17th of August. That's today, the birthday of Marcus Garvey, in 1982 at the age of 57. Her parents were Jewish. They came all the way from Latvia and decided to settle in South Africa. My brother, my sister, her father was called Julius First, and her mother was called Matilda Levitan. When they arrived in South Africa, my brother, my sister, in 1906, she was already a big girl. And she immediately became a founding member alongside her father and mother of the Communist Party of South Africa, the CPSA, the forerunner of the South African Communist Party. Ruth First, my brother, my sister, was brought up in Johannesburg. She was born in 1925. Remember her parents, and note this one clearly. Her parents emigrated, my brother, my sister, all the way from Latvia in 1906. 19 years, my brother, my sister, before our heroine was born. Please take note of that. And when they arrived in South Africa in 1906, I'm talking about her parents, they immediately became founding members of the Communist Party of South Africa, which later became the South African Communist Party. 19 years after they arrived in South Africa, our heroine for today, Ruth First, was born in 1925. She was brought up in Johannesburg. And like her parents, she also joined the Communist Party. And she was allied with the African National Congress, the biggest mistake in quotes, that she probably made. A member of the Communist Party. And she was also allied with the African National Congress in its struggle to overthrow the South African government, the apartheid government. My brother, my sister, as a teenager growing up, Ruth First attended the Jeppe High School for Girls and then became the first person in her family to attend university. She received her bachelor's degree from the University of Witwatersrand in 1946. My brother, my sister, 1946, 21 years of age. Now, while she was at university, she found that on a South African campus, the student issues that mattered were national issues. She was involved in the founding of the Federation of Progressive Students, also known as the Progressive Students League, and got to know, amongst other people and fellow students, Nelson Mandela, future president of South Africa. She got to know Mandela while she was a student, alongside Mandela. She also got to know Eduardo Mondlane, the first leader of the Mozambique Freedom Movement of Frelimo. Please, I need you to note this. She got to know two very important people while she was a student. Nelson Mandela of South Africa, and of course, Eduardo Mondlane of Frelimo, Mozambique. Please note these two very important figures and two beautiful countries. My brother, my sister, see what happened now. She was so active in the black movement, even though she herself was Jewish. When she graduated from school, she became a research assistant for the Social Welfare Division of the Johannesburg City Council. And in 1946, big things happened. Her position in the Communist Party was boosted significantly after a series of mine strikes, during which leading members of the party were arrested. She was the editor-in-chief of the radical newspaper known as The Guardian. And she wrote a lot. That newspaper was banned. She became an investigative journalist. Hey! She exposed the racial segregation policies known as apartheid using her investigative journalism. And the South African apartheid government was so uncomfortable with RUTH FIRST. She was moving faster than they could imagine. One, she was not black. As in the word black, she was Jewish. My brother, my sister. But she was blacker than some black people. Fought for the liberation of black people. My brother, my sister, look at what she did. She pushed herself deeper into the ANC and the National Party in 1948. In 1949, she married Joe Slovo. How many of us remember Joe Slovo? Joe Slovo was a South African politician and an opponent of the apartheid system. A Marxist-Leninist who was a long-time leader and theorist in the South African Communist Party, a leading member of the African National Congress, and the commander of the ANC's military wing, the Umkhonto weSizwe. My brother, my sister. This was the man she got married to. She sealed everything about her blackness and her black mind. The action continued. When she was married in 1949, the South African government became frightened. Hey, now she's joining hands with all these terrorists. It's going to be terrible for us. Hey, my brother, my sister, she continued to expose the wickedness of the system. And then she was charged with treason, detained with 155 other people. The trial went for so long. And finally, she was acquitted alongside the 155 other activists of all charges. And when she came out, she told herself that, she had to be more careful. And this was in 1960, just after the Sharpeville massacre, where black people were shot and killed on the 21st day of March in 1960 at the police station in the township of Sharpeville, in the then Transvaal province of the then Union of South Africa. My brother, my sister, they were just demonstrating against anti-black laws. They were shot and killed. Several black people. My brother, my sister, this is what it is. Hear me now. When she decided that it was time for her to get more careful, look at what she did. She had been imprisoned. Nobody was allowed to quote any of her writings. Nobody was allowed to say anything at all, or repeat anything she had said or written. And nobody was even supposed to talk about her. She was banned and relegated to a status of a non-entity. RUTH FIRST, she was so powerful. My brother, my sister, in March 1964, she decided to go into exile in London, where she became active in the British anti-apartheid movement. Even in London, she was making the South African government so unpopular. Hey, my brother, my sister, she was making the South African government so unpopular. And look at what she did. She also became a research fellow at the University of Manchester in 1972, 2 years before I was born. She was there and also lectured in development studies at the University of Durham. She spent several periods on secondment at universities in Dar es Salaam and also in Maputo, Africa. Hey, remember I asked you to note down the two countries, South Africa, and which other country did I ask you to note down? Mozambique, right? And the two people. Look at what happened. In November 1978, our heroine for today, RUTH FIRST, my brother, my sister, and here you can see her with her husband, Joe Slovo. Oh my God. Very sleek and very beautiful. They got married in 1949, as you can see on the screens in the class. Watch me now. Former President John Dramani Mahama has just entered the class. Please, let's give him a standing ovation, please. Thank you so much, sir. Please take a seat. You are late though, sir. Sit down. Okay. All right. Nana Konedu Ajman Rollins is also in class. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. And we thank you. Sit down, please. Thank you. We appreciate you. Okay. So in November 1978, our heroine for today, RUTH FIRST, decided that she would take a post as Director of Research at the Center of African Studies at the University of Eduardo Mondlane in Maputo. Do you remember that name? He was one of the people she got to know was a student. So she went to Mozambique, all because of this great man, Eduardo Mondlane. And while she was there, that was where her life ended. At that time, the South African government had become so angry with her. Anywhere she went, she fought against the apartheid system in South Africa. They hired a man by name Craig Williamson. And Craig Williamson was hired by the Union of South Africa, my brother, my sister, as an assassin and a spy. His duty was to assassinate some people. And our heroine for today, RUTH FIRST, was one of those people. He was a hitman. Craig Williamson took the job as hired and ordered by the South African police. On the 17th of August 1982, our heroine received a parcel in her office. That parcel arrived on her desk while she was in Mozambique. She believed that the parcel was some documents she needed to look at for her research. And when she opened it, it was a mail bomb. It exploded in her face and killed her. She died on the 17th of August, 1982, at the age of 57. She was killed by a mail bomb. My brother, my sister, Bridget O'Langlin, an anthropologist working with RUTH FIRST at the time, was in RUTH FIRST office when Ruth was murdered. She testified to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa. Today we remember this great black woman. Though she was not white, neither was she black. She chose to be black. She chose to stand by black people. She chose, my brother, my sister, to work in the interest of freedom and justice. My brother, my sister, she died at the young age of 57. She died, my brother, my sister, without living to accomplish some of her wonderful plans. In 2005, the South African Department of Environmental Affairs launched an environmental patrol vessel named RUTH FIRST. They named it after her. The vessel known as RUTH FIRST. In March 2011, the country of the Gambia issued a postage stamp in her honor, naming her as one of the legendary heroes of Africa. My God, RUTH FIRST. She wrote and published so many works, including 117 days, including Libya and the Mozambican miner, and more. One of her biggest books is The Barrel of a Gun, Political Power in Africa and the Coup d'etat in Africa, which was published in London in 1970. There's a movie that has been made about her and it's called A World Apart. In fact, which premiered in 1988. My brother, my sister. And her daughter also played in it. Her daughter called Sean Slovo. It was directed by Chris Menges. Today we remember you, mommy. You were not black, neither were you white, but you chose to be black. You chose to dedicate your life to freedom, fighting. You chose to dedicate your life to nothing but a beautiful future. Today we remember you, mommy. Mommy, uni yaminko. Mommy, uni yaminko. Mommy. Mommy, uni yaminko. Mommy, damn it, RUTH FIRST. Uni yaminko. Uni yaminko wate. Uni yaminko. Oh, mommy. Why a beat? Yada was it. Uni yaminko. Damn it, you fought for black people. You were a thorn in the flesh of the South African government. They couldn't bring you down. It took a male bomb to put you to rest. Today we remember you, mommy. Oh, mommy. Yeah, mommy, miss me go. Mommy, miss me go. Mommy, damn it, Mommy, miss me go what? Mommy, miss me yo. Yeah, mommy, miss me go. Me go what? Me go what? Me go.